So hello YouTube, I am going to do a review today of the Tr10. Now the Tr10 is a laser for a number of pistols, including the sccy. There's some good things, and there's I would say things that could be improved. What I do like about it is that it installs fairly easily. You basically separate, once you receive this package, you separate here and then you screw it together with these two screws. Now my main criticism, let's get the bads out of the way, is that the adjustment vertically, this is the master switch for the light, has a small Allen wrench that goes in here, and they say it's sensitive and not to turn it more than a turn, but it's not clear what direction. I'm a little dyslexic, what direction I need to turn it in and how I can tell I'm forcing it. Then on the lateral, the same thing. I mean, I assume that I'm turning right, that the laser will be adjusted right, but it took me a little while to adjust it, but I guess when you get that out of the way, it doesn't matter. Then another criticism I have is, I don't know if you see in there, there's a little gap. Now I understand that you need to get it tight. You can't just provide a loose fitting, but then again, it seems like they could have, I mean, it's almost more than a 1/16 of an inch gap in there. That should come a little flusher. The criticism I have, not necessarily about the product, but this type of trigger laser in general, is that conceptually there's a flaw. The laser is emitted from here, and obviously you're shooting from here. So when you adjust your laser, you have to adjust it for what you think is the correct distance. Now, if you're shooting at, let's say, 15 yards versus 20 yards, there's going to be a difference on how you calibrate it, because when you aim that, basically it's calibrated for that distance, because you have the convergence of 2 points from here and here, and you have to adjust that based on the distance. Now, I don't know how much off that's going to be, but that is something in favor of not using a laser. The other criticism I have is that when you have this in the on position, this sets the laser on or off. Now, what happens is, if I don't want to activate the laser, I have to lift that finger off. Now, once I lift that finger off, there's a stability issue as far as shooting the gun itself. And for me, I don't know the solution, and I get it, why they put it there, but I think there could be another solution. But I don't know exactly what it is. In general, this is a great laser. It's slightly thicker than those lasers you can pick up at the at the local store that basically used for pointing out things on a board or something. So it is a powerful laser, and it comes, they provide a strong, I believe it's a Duracell battery. I don't know the life of it yet, but in general, this is a very inexpensive system compared with most that are 3 times as much. Even though they do offer a green version that is 80% more expensive for some reason. Now, the argument is during the day the green laser is going to be brighter. Well, my experience in normal, there's the laser. In a normal situation, you're going to see that pretty well. I mean, unfortunately, you can't see out of this area, but I'm telling you, this is bright light here, and look how bright that is. So I don't think it's worth the extra money for the green one, even though I understand how a perfectionist might think so. So let me return to the installation and the fit of it. When I put this on, it was very difficult to put on. It was it was tight. And again, I understand why they want it tight versus loose, which is better. But it seems that they could have gotten the mold just slightly better. That's just my impression. On the top, this is perfect, no gap. There's a slight gap here. For some reason, this screw went on better, but this didn't. So I'm not quite sure what the deal is. But generally, this is a great product. Inexpensive product. Works well. And I can see where a laser is extremely useful, especially in a situation where you're shooting from the hip or you just need something to, you're in a dark situation and it's hard. Like for me, I don't have the best short, I can't see things as well, at least in the dark, as far as the lining things up here. So the laser is definitely a great addition. And for training purposes, I mean, even shooting without ammunition, already it's helped me understand how to release the trigger in a better fashion. So I don't see how I'm going to do without it at this point. Some people will argue that, you know, this actual pistol itself is out of a class compared to some of the SIGs or the Walter Matthau or whatever. Actually, that's probably that's an actor, but the PPQ models and the M2s and the Glocks. But let me tell you, I don't want to get too much off the subject, but this is a very affordable and good gun. I think it's above some of the Tauruses that tend to rust if you put them on your body, even though they do have great triggers and they do have great products. This is very concealable and much easier to conceal compared to a Glock 19 or something that is slightly larger. And it has an acceptable caliber. I mean, it's a 9mm versus a 380, so you know it's right in the middle of a very concealable gun and something like a Glock 19 that starts to have some width to it, and that makes it harder to conceal. But getting back on subject, and another note in regard to the Tr10, they do offer at the same website, they do offer, and I'll list it below, they do offer cases or holsters for this, and I think that's very important because basically it's hard to find a holster once you modify the gun itself. Holsters on the website were maybe probably $5 or $10 more than if you shop around, but if you shop around you won't find the one that fits the Tr10. My overall impression is this is a fantastic addition to the to any handgun, and I believe this fits about 8 or 10 different pistols. So and I did compare online. So I mean I looked at comments, and there are some competing brands, but the ratings are much lower, and there are a lot of criticism on how they work. So overall, this would be the go-to laser, in my opinion, trigger laser for a gun like the sccy CPX2. I hope that you've enjoyed this review, and it's been helpful. I seem to get more than I give on YouTube, but this is my effort to give back. Very nice laser. I highly recommend it.